With this WVLI News Update, I'm Rob West, back with a look at today's news right after this.
Stay connected to your community, even on the go. The WVLI Podcast Network brings you 3 great local shows. The WVLI News Update keeps you informed. Kankakee Valley Community Happenings gets you ready for the weekend. And This One Time in Kankakee shares the incredible stories of our area. Find the WVLI Podcast Network wherever you get your podcasts or at WVLI927.com. The voices you trust beyond the dial.
Kankakee City Police investigating after a house was broken into Tuesday morning. According to reports, officers called to the home in the 300 block of North Entrance Avenue just before 11:30 Tuesday morning by a woman who said that she had video surveillance footage of a man forcing his way into the home about 2 o'clock Tuesday morning. Officers say they found the back door had been pried open. The owner said copper recently installed in the basement was missing, along with some pruning shears. City Police continue to investigate. Indiana Governor Mike Braun says the Chicago Bears now focused on Hammond for a possible new stadium. Indiana News Now's Joe Olery reports.
WTHR 13 reports Braun says the team's board has unanimously identified Hammond as its top option and says state leaders have been in regular contact with the franchise for months.
That was after 6 years, 5.5 of which they had a deaf ear from their own state, governor, legislature, city of Chicago. That's what happens when you have a deaf ear to the customer. I come from the world of business. We moved at the speed of business, not government.
Illinois leaders are still pushing rival proposals, but Braun says Indiana remains in a strong position as the Bears continue their due diligence. I'm Joe Olery, Indiana News Service.
Bourbonnais Friendship Festival continues tonight at the Grove behind Village Hall. Village Director Marketing and Community Engagement Lindy Casey has a rundown of today's events.
Today, the carnival opens for you at 5 p.m. Meineke's Beer Garden is also open from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. today. Bingo begins at 5 p.m. and entertainment with live bands begins at 6:15.
51st Annual Bourbonnais Friendship Festival runs through Sunday on the festival grounds behind Village Hall. AAA says Indiana continues to have the lowest fuel prices in the entire country, and Governor Mike Braun says that it's due to the state's suspension of the gasoline usage tax and excise tax. Hoosiers have the nation's cheapest gasoline and have for the last month. It's 61 cents less than the national average. Average price in Indiana currently $3.30 a gallon. The nationwide average $3.91. AAA says the statewide average for a gallon of gas here in Illinois, $4.20 a gallon. 2 new Chicago area locations are pitching proposals for a new Bears stadium. Jake Lamore has that.
Rob, North Suburban McCook Mayor Terry Carr says he wants to keep the team in Illinois. He says the Bears can build a venue on a 150-acre site near the corner of 55th Street and East Avenue, which is a former quarry. Meanwhile, State Representative from Chicago, Curtis Tarver, is pitching a location on the city's south side at 85th and Lakeshore Drive near the old U.S. Steelworks property. In related news, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says he's prepared to call a special legislative session in Springfield to get a deal on the stadium bill done. He also mentioned the Bears executives must be specific about the provisions they want in the legislation so legislators can vote on them. I'm Jake Lamore.
Just in time for the nation's 250th birthday, the U.S. Mint celebrating the release of new quarters that feature the Declaration of Independence. Tammy Trujillo reports.
Officials held an event at Monticello to help publicize the new quarters ahead of America's 250th anniversary. The Mint also announced that 250,000 quarters bearing a special July 4th mark will be mixed in with the other Declaration of Independence quarters put in circulation. Mint Director Paul Hollis said he hoped the special coins would help Americans reflect on their history during this year's anniversary celebrations. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
Indiana State Police arrested a 23-year-old Lake Village man following an alleged road rage incident Wednesday afternoon. In a press release, Indiana State troopers say it was just before 2 yesterday afternoon. They were called to a report of shots fired on the northbound side of I-65 near the eastbound I-80 ramp. The victim told troopers driver of another car had shot at her, breaking one of her windows in the car. Reports say that she had minor injuries from flying glass. Indiana State Police searched the car of the alleged offender, allegedly found a loaded handgun. Troopers say they arrested Gavin J. McCammon on preliminary charges of criminal recklessness with a deadly weapon. Project Headspace and Timing has launched a transportation fund to help local veterans to get to where they need to go. The fund, named in honor of the late Major Donald J. Brewer. Barbie Brewer Watson says her father was always helping people get around, and there's a need for that in the veteran community.
Especially for a lot of the specialized treatment that veterans need. Sometimes that requires airfare and, some medical assistance to also accompany them on the flight to get to the treatment centers they need. Sometimes transportation can be quite expensive.
Brewer Watson said they still need to raise about $3,000 to reach their initial $10,000 goal for the fund. Contact Project Headspace and Timing to learn more. Kankakee Municipal Band Summer Concert Series continues tonight at the Palzer Band Shell in Bird Park. Municipal Band conductor Bob Evans has a rundown of tonight's concert.
Our theme for the program is Music Brings Families Together. Many family members of our band who play instruments will be joining us in this performance. Featured guest conductors will be 2 area music educators who are members of the band. They are Mike Snyder and Justin Gund. We will also have a segment of the program where audience members are invited to come up and conduct the band after a short conducting lesson. If you have always wanted that opportunity, now is your chance. Our vendor is candy and cake, so bring your lawn chair and come over to Don Palzer Bandshell for an enjoyable evening you will not forget of music, food, and fun.
The free summer concert series runs now through August 6th. In sports, Cubs won both ends of a doubleheader Wednesday while the Sox and Cards both lost. Cubs beat the Mets 10-3 and 10-5 yesterday in a doubleheader in New York. They go for the 4-game sweep tonight. White Sox lost the last game of their 3-game set with the Guardians last night, 4-3 in Chicago. Sox are off tonight. St. Louis Cardinals lost 9-4 to the Diamondbacks. They wrap up that series tonight in St. Louis. Chicago Sky snapped a 6-game losing streak, beating the Portland Fire 101-78 last night in Chicago. Same 2 teams in Portland tomorrow night. And there are 6 matches today in World Cup group play. Ivory Coast faces Curacao in Philadelphia. Germany battles Ecuador in East Rutherford. Japan takes on Sweden in Arlington. The Netherlands meets Tunisia in Kansas City. Australia and Paraguay face off in Santa Clara. And the United States plays Turkey in Inglewood. That is a look at news and sports here on this Thursday. Have a good rest of your day. Be safe, everybody. I'm Rob West.
This one time in Kankakee, I lost my leg while farming.
Hear the incredible and inspiring story of Willie Van Wassenhove on the latest episode of This One Time in Kankakee. Listen now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows. It's all part of the WVLI Podcast Network. The voices you trust beyond the dial.